Okay, this is my 2020 TBR7 by Tao Motors. I bought it brand new from Q9 Powersports. It was delivered to me at my house for $1,286. I mean, what a steal. These bikes out of the box are pretty good. They're rideable, but just a couple simple and inexpensive modifications, you can make them so much better. So, let's get going. Some of the things I've done. First thing, like a lot of you out there, I went from a 15 to a 17 countershaft sprocket, and I also went down one tooth to a 45 from a 46. I got both of these on Amazon. The front was like $9, and the rear, I believe that was $20. I also went with a heavy duty chain. The stock chains, they seem to be okay, but I know there's been some complaints of people breaking them, usually in the most inopportune time, and that's really when you don't want to break a chain. So I decided to get a new one. It's a non-O-ring, just so there's less binding, and when you're dealing with something that don't put out much horsepower, it's probably the way to go. So anyway, that's the drivetrain complete. Seems to work flawless, no problems there. Up front, I went with a pair of Pro Taper handlebars. Now, in order to get these Pro Tapers on there, you need these oversized clamps. I got these off Amazon. They're just a generic 1 1/8 clamp, and I believe they were $14 or $15, and they seem to do a really good job. I just kind of like the looks of it. I think it's a nice touch. And okay, we're moving to the other side over here. Let me move my light around. So as far as the exhaust, the only thing I've done, I've taken the end cap off, taken the insert out, and there's a screen, a real fine mesh screen wrapped around the insert. I took that off, put the insert back in there, and it seemed to open it up. Seems to run a little bit freer, has a little bit more rumble to it, so I kind of like it. I know on Amazon you can get some aftermarket exhaust for under $100, and they seem to do a pretty good job, but I'm pretty happy with the way this one performs. Okay, none of the other upgrades I did, I put an Iridium spark plug in there. And the nice thing about the Iridium, you don't have to set the gap. You just put it in there and let it go. I also went with an NGK spark plug cap. So you can see the stock one, it just looks kind of cheapish to me. Of course, it's made in China, what else? And it seemed to help a little bit. I noticed on the road, it seems like it pulls a little bit better in the mid-range. I mean, who would believe the spark plug was $9 and the cap was $5? So that's a really inexpensive upgrade. And of course the carburetor. This is a Mikuni. I think it was $22 on Amazon. I also got a jet kit. I could have modified the stock one. In fact, I already did. It had the tamper-proof screws in there, so all you have to do is take a hacksaw to get them out. But this was ready to go, so I put a 110 in there, and I live at sea level. It seemed to do a good job. As far as the pilot, I left whatever pilot was in the carb when I bought it, I left it there. And it seemed to be running really good. I think if I went up in elevation a little bit, I'd probably have to mess with it. This pollution device on the head pipe, for now I've left it. I'm not quite sure what people are doing with this. It's just kind of bogus and in the way. That'll probably come out later on. But for right now, I'm going to leave it. Anyway, the next thing was the Airbox, and like a lot of you, there's a little teeny piece of plastic in there. I cut that out. And I don't know if it helped or not, but the bike seems to run pretty good. I would caution against drilling any holes in the top of it because it's not going to be very water resistant, and that type of filter in there is just going to go right through your carburetor, and you're going to have all kinds of issues. Another upgrade I've already done, I've taken out the stock tubes. They're just a Chinese made, almost paper thin, and replaced it with a semi-heavy duty tube on both ends. Eventually, if you leave these tubes in here, they're going to fail. They could fail on the highway, maybe out on the trails. I paid $12 a piece for these semi-heavy tubes. I think they'll do a good job. Of course, you know, when you're going a dual sport ride or something, it's always good to carry maybe an extra tube with you and tools so you can change them on the trail. Anyway, that's pretty much what I've done. I know there's other things that can probably be done out there, but these basic mods, and maybe at the most $100, probably not even that, the things I've done to it, just made it a better all-around bike. Hopefully it'll be around for a while.